little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another, well, I don't know if I'd call it a tutorial, but it's more of a creative little idea that I had, and I had you in mind because, hey, this is what I do. I love to share. So this I thought would be an awesome project for the holiday season as well as for some serious stash busting. And I know that some of you love that. This I came up with is a mini granny square garland. And it is done with the join as you go method. So the only sewing that you have to concern yourself with is the sewing in of ends. And if you have a really massive tree, which I do not, you could do multiple rounds and make these little squares bigger. Me, I've got an itty bitty tree. So just one round for each square does the trick just right. And it's very, very easy. It's very, very quick. And if you want to use up those little scraps of yarn, this is perfect because each of these little squares hardly takes up any yarn at all. And so I'm just going to do a little quick walkthrough toot on how you do the square and how to join it as you go along. It's so easy. It really, really, really is. And this is actually one of those great little things that you can do if you're especially waiting on lines in the doctor's office, what have you, because this is super portable, I love it, and I hope you do too. So listen, I'm going to show you how to do this. All right. So for this project, I had this Red Heart Super Saver lying around, and I thought it looked nice and frosty. And I'm using a size H crochet hook. It's really not important. Seriously, it's whatever works for you. And so for those of you that are not fluent with grannies, I'm just going to do this pretty quickly. And I do have in my crochet playlist, much, much more about grannies and so forth. It's to me, it's like the DNA of crochet. These are like the building blocks of crochet. So you start with a slip knot and you chain up 4, do a slip stitch into the first chain. Okay, then you chain up 3, and I like to work over the tails, especially for these, because it will minimize the amount of sewing in of ends that you have to do later. So going into this center ring that we created, do 2 more double crochets, because that first chaining of 3 counts as your first double crochet. So that's a total of 2 thus far. And 3. Then what I like to do for this particular granny is I like to chain 3 in the corners, and I will show you why later. Then into that same space, that same center space, the ring, 3 more double crochets. And like I said, I'm crocheting over my tail. Makes it a lot easier. So I did 2, 3, chain 3, 3 more doubles, chain 3, 3 more doubles, and then chain 3. Then you would want to do a slip stitch into the top 3rd chain of that first double crochet that you formed. And that would be your finished mini granny There we go. And so I'm just going to finish that slip stitch. Now this would be your finished mini granny. Now also, there are a lot of other things that you can do with a single granny. For instance, you could do a row of them, and you could make a bracelet, or, you could do several of them, do like some sort of table runner or a lining of something, really whatever, like an edging. But for what I'm doing is it's just connecting them corner to corner. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to show you how you can go about doing the join as you go method, which, oh my, it saves so much work in the long run. So I've got my pre-existing chain here, okay? And so I did 3 clusters thus far. Now, what I'm going to do now is, instead of just chaining up 3, chain 1, then you grab your pre-existing piece, and what you would want to do is, so this is the front side, and this is obviously the front side. So you want to have it back side to back side, so that the back sides are facing each other. Then what you do is going into the top corner there, we're just going to do a slip stitch. So from here, going underneath, grab the yarn, pull it through, slip stitch, then chain 1, because it was a total of 3 chains, right? So I chained 1, slip stitched, and then did another chain 1, then into the ring again, doing 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, and then you do your slip stitch, finishing it off. And you will be surprised how quickly your chain will grow. So then all you have to do is just snip your yarn, pull out your loop, and you have yourself another link added seamlessly to your chain. And like I said, I just happen to have this yarn, so that's why it's all the same colorway. But you can go absolutely crazy with different hook sizes, different kinds of yarn. It depends on what you have in your stash and how eclectic you want to be and what your personal taste is. But the idea is have fun, go crazy with it. Also, if you are looking for other garland type ideas, I have another video that I did on an origami garland, a little origami star garland, and I'll put a link to that in the description box down below. So listen, I really hope that you like this tutorial. Well, it's not quite my usual kind, but it's a little scrap busting, stash busting idea that I had, and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. So listen, until next time, I want you guys to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.